The 17th of May. National holiday celebrated in 2024. Day of the benefactor Pelagia of the Beklushniks. According to the church calendar on this date, we remember the most holy Pelagia, the bird. Intercessors, however, among the people on this day, known as Beklushnik Day, with the tradition of making wooden spoons from spare material, but not. This is the only difference between this day and church calendar. This is also the day of the holy martyr Pelagia, who was considered a talisman against troubles and especially helped innocent young girls. If you turn to Pelagia with asking for a happy marriage, she will definitely listen and help today. People are increasingly turning to special services, talismans that are known to be able to attract abundance and wealth into their lives. Folk signs associated with the 17th of May help not only to achieve happy marriage, but also in finding a rich life on this day especially. It is common to pray to the holy martyr Pelagia, who is considered patroness of women, girls. Go to church to ask for help, and not in vain, because the fir is always comes to the rescue in difficult times and can help you find a rich groom. If you contact her today, you can get help in your home. In ancient times, times of purification rites, energy was considered an integral part life of each house, and to clean house cleanse from negativity, energy necessary to resort to the mysteries. Nature. One of these rites was using an old clay pot. According to legend, you had to take the old clay pot and place in it nettle bush torn out. This plant has long been used to ward off evil spirits and cleanse the house of all dirt. With nettles had to be brought to house and break it roughly in the center. In the house, it was believed that this action will take all the bad out of the house once again. Ancient belief associated with the 17th of May talks about the possibility of creating a talisman that strongly attracts money. Signs of the 17th of May say that today you can literally get rich. Energy purification right through a pot of nettles and creating a money talisman. All of this was part of ancient customs, full of magic and care. Domestic well-being to create a talisman. There is a tradition of a wooden spoon that some consider the oldest. According to this tradition, in the past simple wooden spoons were made of directly on this day, but today you can simply buy them at the market or at the fair. It is advisable to choose a spoon without design so that it is suitable. A talisman to give something special to the spoon. Strength and energy can be drawn. Has a floral pattern of any complexity. For example, the popular Petrikovka pattern. However, what is most important is not the design itself, but the fact itself. In this case, it is necessary to speak of the spoon in a special way, saying certain words in the process. Drawing in this way, it is important to remember that every detail in creating a talisman plays its role. Using ancient traditions and magical practices can transform a simple wooden spoon into a powerful amulet that brings good luck and protects its owner. In ancient times, traditionally, on the 17th of May, masters would start preparing raw material for making wooden spoons. Were a subject only for skilled, knowledgeable people who chose appropriate wood species, such as maple, lime or birch. Material was strictly taken from turning a certain part of the trunk. Pay attention to the correct side and height, thickness for cutting handles. Collecting sand as a symbol of gold, wealth and prosperity are not just a piece of decoration, but also a means of increasing God. Spoon that is in popular wisdom, associated with increase and multiplication, is of particular importance. It is important to remember that after successfully cutting the block to the maximum, the main thing is to learn how to use correct, because a spoon is a symbol. Abundance should be hung in the house in prominent place to attract well-being and prosperity. Advanced technologies and new gardening methods led to the fact that today everyone A person has the opportunity to become. Craftsmen of the past could use this skill. Dedicate your life only to real professionals with extensive experience and knowledge. They were the ones who passed on their gift, and teach newcomers was common. Such masters always had students whom they passed on all their secrets. And those. In addition, Pelagia's gardeners had special rituals associated with planting seedlings of cabbage or cucumber, for example, to ward off problems and diseases from there. They hung old crops on the gates, bast shoes and throw shoes near the barn, on the porch of the house and on the garden fences. They believed that this way I would distract attention from a passerby and protect their landings from envious eyes. But these rituals not only had a practical purpose, they also had a connection to ancestors and people. Old shoes that had already passed away, that the gardeners used in rituals, were a link between the world of the living and the world of the dead ancestors. Sponsorship and protection symbolized that the ancestors provided to their descendants. Therefore, rituals for Pelagia not only served to improve the harvest, but also accompanied by symbolic, which means that there was a popular belief that crows are especially friendly with Pelagia. So today we pray to the saint asking her. People turn to her for help more often. Girls, and also offended and humiliated by her mother so that no one would jinx the beauty. The girl on the 17th of May made a talisman of a cracked pot in which she placed nettles that were picked and hung around the fence. If there was a single woman in the house, it protected the family, clan, and home from evil spirits approaching the tree, coming from the crow's nest, looking at it to pray to saint and ask for her blessing. In ancient times, there was a belief that certain items could have special properties and help people in various life situations. One of such signs was a spoon made of collected raw material. For it, protection and healing properties were attributed, and therefore men going to service, they put it in a boot so that it protected from death, and women in labor were put her in bed to give birth healthy. Even in ancient times, the 17th of May was a day when it was customary to perform rituals to cure skin diseases. One of such rituals was associated with the memory day of Saint Pelagia, who is an intercessor against skin diseases. As part of this ritual, they took a piece of cottage cheese made of certain ingredients and used it as an amulet or remedy. Such traditions and customs allowed people to believe in the magical power of objects and rituals and use them to improve health and protection against diseases. Beliefs and rituals associated with specific days and objects make people feel protected by higher powers and control their destiny in the unpredictable world of ancient times. In ancient times, to cure diseases, people used magical rituals. For example, they used young cow's milk that was placed in a log and then applied to the sore spot while saying such words: "Cottage cheese, save me from pain more than a rotten cone on a wooden block." This ritual could last about half an hour, but very soon the disease began to disappear. Symbols of nature were also used for weather predictions. If the sky is not bright today but the pale sun is a harbinger of bad weather. Also, if you hear how the cuckoo is calling, we should expect good weather days. These signs and beliefs are associated with the fact that people have always sought to unravel nature and understand its language. By observing the world around them, they tried to predict the future and heal diseases with the help of magic and knowledge. For lunch, I remember deceased relatives. After all, our ancestors believed that in order not to attract, you definitely need to take sorrows and problems to yourself. Remember them. If you look out the window and if you see the moon on your right, it means in this year you will receive wealth. But if the moon is on the left, be careful, because this can mean losses. According to signs, dreams that dream on the night of the 17th of May can predict danger and will come true on the 17th day after sleep. On this day is known as it is best to avoid the day of Pelagia. The intercessor make gifts that can bring disease and sadness. It is important to remember these warnings to protect yourself from negative consequences. In ancient times, it was believed that giving pearls is a sign of failures and wastage. However, when we look at this sign from another perspective, you can observe that pearls also symbolize wealth and sophistication of garlands and brooms. According to legends, they carry a negative burden and are associated with misfortune. But a crown of flowers is a symbol of victory and triumph, and the broom is a tool for cleaning and order for the patron saint of the sea, Pelagia. According to custom, a wooden spoon with patterns is important for someone, and by carving this gesture suggests that the giver and the recipient will live in abundance and prosperity. Other signs should not be forgotten, for example, the 17th, which is not recommended to kill roosters and hens to avoid depriving oneself of fertility and prosperity. Today, on the 17th of May, it is believed that dark forces are very close to a person and can strongly cause harm, therefore it is not recommended to play with fire and use sharp objects, cutting instruments, piercing, and moreover, items should be disposed of chicken dishes on this day. This is related to the fact that sneezing before lunch counts as undesirable because it can attract negative forces and bring misfortune. The saint herself was the intercessor for others, taught kindness and responsiveness, so refusing someone who asks can lead to punishment from higher powers. It is important to follow instructions and warnings to avoid possible injuries and problems. For many people, when a dark streak begins in their lives, they have to find a way out of it alone without relying on the help of patrons, friends, or relatives. It was the same with Pelagia, who became famous for being an intercessor and patron protecting from many problems. On the day of Pelagia, it is recommended not to trim nails as this can affect income and health. For this reason, many reschedule a visit to the beauty salon for another day or decide to do a manicure themselves. It is forbidden to offend a raven on this day because Saint Pelagia is considered its intercessor. Beliefs and customs associated with this day remind us of the importance of respecting traditions and symbols that may have deep cultural and spiritual significance. These ideas should not be ignored, even if they seem unusual or incomprehensible to the modern man. It is important to stay connected to the past and respect the diversity of cultural heritage that shapes our understanding of the world and the reality that surrounds us. On the 17th of May, when cranes nest in lowlands, according to legend, if they choose this location where grains can be sown not far from bodies of water, this is considered a favorable sign for a good harvest. But if cranes build high nests, they may anticipate an abundance of cockchafers by day. The ancient superstitions of Pelagia also state, and if the viburnum blooms on this day, it's time to sow corn, pumpkin, cucumber, and beans. And if it suddenly started raining, it could portend a year of harvest. Ancient beliefs say that the last days of May will bring freshness and coolness. This time is considered especially favorable for those born during this period. They are attributed the ability to easily read minds of people around them and even understand the language of animals. This ability is associated with the energy and aura that surrounds people born in this time. I wish you that time brought happiness to your life, health, and well-being. Remember that each of us carries something unique, abilities, and talents that help us understand the world around us more deeply. Be open to new knowledge, experiences, and you will be amazed at what your mind and soul are capable of. Do not forget to appreciate this information and leave your feedback. Likes are confirmation that we are moving in the right direction. Subscribe to our channel to stay informed of all traditions and signs and learn interesting facts from the world of magic and ancient legends. Incredible discoveries await you, and mystical secrets that can easily change your view of the world. I wish you health for you and your loved ones. All the best to you. Goodbye.